You know, we see people that our daughter, when she was stationed over there in Afghanistan, it was a base with different. It was a NATO base. There was the Germans there. There was different countries there. And one of the things that all the countries were amazed at, because they have a draft in their country, we're the only one, and we have all these people that joined voluntarily, and they were like asking, why would you do that? And they all said, we love our country. The other one says, man, if we didn't have a choice, we wouldn't be here. And that just amazes the rest of the nations in the world, because our people love our country. And they go there willing to serve, and knowing that their lives may be taken in the heat of a battle or something. And so, you know, I just thank God for all of them that do that. And we were blessed to have our daughter come back safely, and our son Joseph, after I think 3 tours, he come back safely. Everyone says he's a little messed up, and he's not. That's just the way he is.
He went that way.
Yes. And he's still that way, one of those thinks that he should go back. I said, no, you're good, stay home. Mom, you're messing mom and dad up with what you're messing, you know? On this, so. Thank you, Lord. You know, Josh was going to preach this morning, but the little chumpkin went home sick. So you got me. Sorry about that.
You're always a blessing.
Thank you, Jesus. Wasn't the worship just beautiful this morning?
Yes, it
Oh,
was.
it was just an amazing
Awesome.
presence of God. And I just thank all of them, too, all of you worship people, the singers and the instrumentalists, giving of your time to do this, to give God all the glory and the praise. Amen?
Amen.
You know, the one song there that really struck me, that last one, the Simple Gospel, it's a fairly new song, and the first time I heard that, and I started thinking about the words, I laid down my religion. And I was thinking about that, and it's so true, because we have made an idol, the church has an idol of our church buildings and our things that we do as denominations and stuff. And we've got to lay that down, and Jesus needs to be lifted up higher than anything. Amen?
Amen.
Because if it wasn't for Jesus in each of our lives, and each of you have a wonderful testimony, but you know, where we were before we met the Lord and where we are now, I thank God for that.
Amen.
You know, I always think about what my life would have been like if I hadn't met Jesus Christ. And if I hadn't had a family that was praying for me to get me out of the mud and the mire that I had already jumped in all by myself, you know, voluntarily. Nobody shoved me in there. I couldn't say, well, it was Dad, because Dad didn't take me fishing. I've heard people say that. It's like, you know, I just have really issues in life because my dad didn't take me fishing. I go, you know, my dad didn't either. And I'm good with that, you know, because I have a wonderful life. I have a wonderful dad. You know, he may not take me fishing, but he's taught me how to work on cars. I don't know if that's a blessing or not. That's all I do anymore, it seems like.
Keep you busy.
Yeah, it keeps me out of trouble. You know, but when in my life, I'm going to share a little bit about my life before Jesus. I was raised in the church, so it wasn't my mom and dad didn't raise me in the church, so I could blame them. I couldn't blame anybody but myself. And that's the way when we stand before the great white throne of God, and we stand before the Lord Jesus Christ, we're not going to be able to say, but God, you didn't give me good parents, or you didn't give me a good spouse, or you didn't give me a good hand in life. I had a rough life, rougher than anyone. God's not going to take those answers, because He's given us each the same and equal opportunity to surrender our life to Him. Amen?
Amen.
And that's what we have to do. And a lot of people will get wrapped up in their religion, like in that song, and they will just, the religion teaches them it's all about the organization or this or that, and they get away from Jesus Christ. And how sad can that be? Because without Jesus, we have nothing. Nothing. You know, and I was raised in the church, I knew better. But when I turned 18 and I got to move out of the house, you know, the first thing I had to do was like, yes, I'm going to move out. Get on my own. You know, because I know better than what mom and dad. They are just lucky that I was living under the roof with them, right? And helping them through their life. Then I got out and I thought, oh goodness, they knew what they were doing. As I was falling on my face and everything was messing up, and I thought, I never drank, I never did anything like that, but I'm going to spread my wings and I'm going to enjoy life. And I enjoyed it all day. Every morning I'd wake up with a hangover and I was messed up. I was living in Missouri. You live in Missouri, that's messed up right there. And then you put alcohol involved in it. Yeah, misery. I was driving a truck and I had to get up and go, and it was just a mess. Thank God I never took the speed to stay awake to keep driving all the time. I had my limits, right? Just drink myself. Yeah. But, I go through that, and I've probably told many of you this before, and I was married once before, and hopefully you just don't run out of the place, oh no, he was married once before. Yeah, I was, okay? And got married at 19 years old, because I knew everything, right? So, and ended up moving back to Missouri. That was where she was from. That was utopia. Got back there, she met her old boyfriends and started going out with her old boyfriends and stuff. And I'd come in, she wasn't at home, so I had to go find her, bring her back home. And I kept denying that really she just, got lost, okay, probably, and I have to go get her. But I kept denying all of this, but I kept drinking it so I'd forget about it. And I'd wake up and, the problem would be gone, right? Not at all. Now I was sick and I had a headache and the problem was still there. But here's the deal, is during this time, and finally I was just fed up with it completely and didn't know what to do. But I knew, and I forgot how to pray. I forgot how to communicate with the Lord because I hadn't done it in years. And I was wondering, how in the world am I going to do this and get through this life? And I remember after she told me she was having an affair with someone else, and we lived just out of Joplin, Missouri there, and I was walking, and I was thinking, God, if you're real, hopefully you don't hit me with a bolt of lightning or a tornado suck me up, living out there. That could happen any time. I remember the first time we were watching TV, and there was a tornado watch came on, 5 miles away. I said, where's the cellar? We don't have one. I go, oh, no. And I'm from Oregon. We don't do stuff like this. And so I was freaking out. I go, it's 5 miles away. I go, 5 miles? That's way too close. And I thought, this is not for me. They said, oh, you're out the West Coast. You guys get earthquakes all the time. Not where I live. Then I moved to Klamath. No, then I moved to San Francisco for a while. Yeah, we were shaking all the time down there. But during this time, I prayed the Lord, I go, if you're real, I doubted even if he was real. Because going to church doesn't get you saved. It's that relationship, and I didn't have a relationship with Jesus Christ. I went, I knew all the right things to do because I knew that my mom would just whip the tar out of me if I did it wrong. So I just do it right. They said, oh, you're such an obedient child. No, I'm scared of the punishment. Well, I'm scared of it. So I did what was all good, but here at this time, I had just forgotten all about God. Even if I questioned if he was real. Questioned if he was raised all my life in church. We went to Assembly of God Church in Ashland, Oregon. Pastor Cornwall, good church it was, from what mom and dad tell me. I was just there playing with other kids. But that night I asked the Lord, I says, if you're real, give me some kind of sign. And I know the word says, Jesus kind of rebuked him, says, you're always asking for a sign. But I needed a sign. It's like laying out a fleece. Nothing happened. I was walking, it was raining, and everything, nothing happened. Cars went by, I thought about jumping out in front of the car. Seriously, I was thinking suicide. That guy just did it right here because I was totally miserable in the life that I had chosen. And I got back to the house, and there was my ex-wife's brother, mother, and father. And they were fighting. They were all drunk too. That's what everyone did in that household. And they were fighting, and the son had the father's head over the back of the couch and hit him on the Adam's apple when I walked in the door. And everyone's screaming, help him, help him. So I grabbed the brother and I threw him off, hit him. We got in a fight, left him over in a corner. And now the dad's going at me with a baseball bat. You hurt my son. I said, these people are insane. I was sober enough to figure that one out, And so the next morning I was back, the truck was in the shop, I was working on the jake brake on the truck that morning, and the phone rang. This is way before cell phones, okay? This is the early 80s. The phone rang in the shop, and he says, it's for you. I go answer the phone, and it's my dad in Oakland, California. He's the senior vice president for Safeway Stores Incorporated, and he's, 2 hours difference than me, and he calls. And I answer, and he goes, how are you? And I'm kind of shocked, like, Dad? And he goes, how you doing? I'm doing fine, doing great. He goes, you're lying to me. I go, wow, nice to talk to you too. And he says, no, I know, because I've been praying. I go, how did you get this number, Dad? He says, that's where I'm telling you. I was praying about you. God gave me a number, and I called it. I said, wow, there's my son.
Right.
So I headed out back to California. I don't know if that was a good choice, but I went back to California on that.
Where did you meet your wife?
Sacramento, yes. Okay, so it was a good choice. But went back to Sacramento, and all the way the drive from Joplin to Sacramento, I'm asking the Lord, Lord, this is a sign. I know this is a sign, but I don't know what to do. So I started going to church. But the one thing the pastor there at the church at Citrus Heights Assembly of God says, don't come to church just to be a good guy. Come to church to meet Jesus. And he told us that all the time, all the time. And it was the first time I met Jesus Christ for the first time when I came up to the altar and I asked the Lord into my heart. I wasn't saying this magical prayer that changes everything, but I was meeting Jesus and surrendering my life to him for the very first time.
You were moving past the dogma to a relationship.
That's right. And that's the key, the relationship that we have with our Lord Jesus Christ. And he wants, you think that you want to be with him and I want to be with him, but he wants to be with you more than you do. He loves you so much. He's saying there's so much time, I wish you could be with me, but we forfeit it by being worried about things, getting upset about things. I know we got to have a job. I work full time, then also do the church, but we have that time when we can be praying like the Apostle Paul says, continually. Continually we pray. Continually be in the presence of God. When I'm at work, after I go see patients, I got to go do all the charting on there, and I'm at the thing, I put my headphones on, and I listen to worship music then. And I just, in there, I'm just typing away, thinking I'm just loving this. Because at first I do this, and I think, what a drudgery. Because I don't like to sit for very long. I'm ADD, so to sit there at the desk, oh, please, can I just talk it and someone else type it, but I'm not a doctor, so I can't do that. So there, now I'm in the presence of God. See, God is calling us every moment in our life to be with him. Every moment. And when we don't do it, we say, well, because I'm busy, God. It's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. God is calling us to be with him every moment of our lives. And that's what he's wanting us to do. It says here, and if you go with me to John chapter 15, let's start at verse 1. We're going to read down through this, because this is really key in what we need to do. Gardening time, Angela was out gardening, and she was planting flowers, and I was working on things, and we were doing so much, had a great day outside, but in that garden, we have this grapevine in the back of our house that we have to trim back every year, but we have the main vine. There's the little branches out there, but we have to have the main vine, and it's growing like crazy. Now, here in verse 1, it says, I am the true vine, and my Father is the gardener. He cuts off every branch in me that bears no fruit, while every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes, so that it will be even more fruitful. You are already clean because of the word I have spoken to you. Remain in me, as I also remain in you. No branch can bear fruit by itself. It must remain in the vine. Neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me. You see, there's that relationship that Jesus is calling. And I know a lot of you are probably saying, well, Pastor, you're preaching to the choir. Yes, I am, but we can never stop growing in that relationship with Jesus. If you think you've achieved that relationship, then there's something wrong with you right now. Because we have to be on a continuous learning curve with Jesus Christ, to hear more from Him, to know more. You can never know God or Jesus completely until the day that we step into heaven, out of this earthly body and in the presence of God. Until then, we build a relationship every day. I'm learning new things about my wife every day. I'm learning how to keep my mouth shut. Yeah, that is a tough one for me. But you know, it was so funny. And she's not in here. Oh, good, I can tell. This is fun now. No, here's the thing. I had a plan. I was working on getting the garage out back. It's like a storage thing. Get it ready so I could get the Corvette, Dad's Corvette in the back there. You know, because Dad says, I'll give you the Corvette, but it has to have a place to be. It has to be undercover. No problem. We can do this. So I'm just pulling stuff out like crazy, and I pull out these 2 gas can holders that I was going to mount on the back of the Jeep. And I hadn't done it in a couple of years. You know, gotta get these now, and then I don't do anything with them. And so Angela's out there, and she goes, why don't you just put those on the Jeep now? I go, honey, look at the mess. I'm doing all this. And she gives me this look. Oh, I says, I'll get it done this summer. She goes, oh, maybe next year. And she walked away. Boiling point, just escalated. You know, and the look I got and everything, and she just, you know, there's a word for that, you know, but I can't say it here. You know, that was a really smart person, you know, right? And I walked away, and she knows how to push my buttons. So I got the sandpaper out, because then she goes, well, I can just bolt it on. She goes, why don't you repaint the tire carrier in the back bumper of the Jeep? That would look nice. Really? And so that's when she said, maybe next year. She walks off. That just triggered me. So I got the same, I'm sanding everything down, I'm painting, got it all done, it looks gorgeous. You know, and I walked in, I said, thank you for being a smart aleck, because I got the job done. She goes, oh, did you? You know, and that's the way we need to be motivated to get right with the Lord. Amen? Don't wait until next year. Don't wait until tomorrow. It's right now. God is a God of now. We talked about that last week. He's a right here, right now God. Not tomorrow. Let's not wait till tomorrow. God wants to talk to us right now. He wants us to surrender our heart right now. He wants us to get right with Him right now. You know, and every day there's things that we need to get right with God, because we all fall short of the glory of God. And so there's times that we got to go before the Lord and say, God, you know, there's so many things I can't name them all, but Lord, forgive me. Because we don't want anything to separate us from the presence of God. You know, Jesus has come to save us. And we say, well, I'm saved. And you know, I said the prayer years ago as I was a kid and all that kind of stuff. And that's all good and fine, but where are you now? Things have happened through the years. I was saved as a kid and baptized and everything else, but then I went astray. And I had to get back. When I came back to church, I just didn't just come back to church. I surrendered my heart to the Lord, and I rededicated myself. Remember when they rededicated the temple in Jerusalem? It was already dedicated to the Lord. Solomon, remember the glory came down? It was so thick the priests couldn't do their work, and the presence was there. But through the years, everything got messed up, got out of order. Our lives get out of order sometimes, and we got to get right with God again. And say, God, recalibrate me. Get me in order. Get my files. You ever do your computers defrag everything? Get your files back in order on the computer? That's what we got to do in our life, is the Holy Spirit can defrag us to get us back right with God. Get us back on course. Because if we don't, we can be going astray just a bit. And I know I've showed it with a map years ago. It says, if you start out in Klamath Falls, and you're going to go around the world with your compass, but if you're off 2 degrees, you're going to miss the mark coming back over 2,000 miles off course. I don't want to get off course in my life. Neither do you. And as a pastor, I don't want to see any of you. I want to see you guys so on fire for God, because God has not called a chosen few to work with the gifts of the Holy Spirit. He's called the body of Christ, all of us. It's not just for some people. Some of you are not just meant to be bench warmers or water boys or girls. You're to be the part of the body of Christ on fire. And the only way that we can do that is stay attached Because look at this. Let's go back here to verse 2. He says he cuts off and he prunes that bears no fruit. While every branch does not bear fruit, he prunes off. So if we're not bearing fruit, I'm going to church, Pastor, and I'm doing good, and I raise my hands once in a while during worship song. That's cool. That's a start. We're talking about that relationship. We're talking about that knowing Jesus. We're talking about you love him so much you're willing to do anything for him. And that's where fruit begins to be brought forth within your life. And he prunes us. There's things in our lives that he has to prune so that we bear more fruit. He wants us to not just bear fruit, but bear more fruit. And we get more, and it says much more than later on down there in verse 5. If you go there in John 15, verse 5, it says, I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me, and I in you, you will bear what? Much fruit. Now look at that progressive. I'm going to keep Sammy busy up there. Go back up to verse 2, and it says, bears fruit, just bears fruit, and then it goes more fruit, and then much fruit. There's a progressive. He's not happy with you just bearing fruit. He's happy, but he says there's more. There's more fruit. Then you bear more fruit, he says there's much fruit. We got to go on from there. And that much fruit is the fruit of the Spirit that's in your life. Love, joy, peace, long-suffering, all of those. And when you begin to bear much of that in your life, that's where the abundant and the joy begins to flow through your life. Because you're not concerned, you're not all upset, you're not mad at people. You just say, God, you got this. And you go through our life with that abundant love of Jesus Christ in our hearts. We've got to stay connected to the vine. We've got to let him prune us. There's a lot of times he tries to prune us, but we hang on to those things. No, I like this show. Or I like this, and I like this, and I like this. We don't, hey, if God says to let it go, then let it go, because he's got the best in store for you. And that's where, if we don't change, like 5 years from now, if I'm the same person as I am today, shame on me. I've got to be closer to him. We've got to, business people always, you got to have a 5-year plan. And like when I was manager for Payless drugstores, we had to plan out our budgets for 5 years. We bring in repairs, we bring in everything that the store may need, and we had to budget that. And it took a lot of work because you got to, hopefully your sales are going to be on an increase, at least with inflation, and hopefully more than that. So you try to budget on all that. Now we have to have a plan in our own life spiritually. How am I going to get closer to the Lord? What am I going to do? What I'm doing now is good, but what am I going to do more to get closer to the Lord? Well, I come to church every Sunday. That's good. What are you going to do more to get closer to the Lord? Well, I have my devotions. Good. What are you going to do more? See, we can never say that's enough. We have to do more to get closer to the Lord. And a lot of times we say, well, I go out and do works and I can witness. And that's all good as the Spirit leads us. But I'm talking about a personal relationship with you and God yourself. What are you going to do to get closer to the Lord? Well, there's so much I don't understand. And spend time with him and you will understand those things. Because the Spirit will reveal those to us. Amen? Not that you'll ever know everything. Nobody will. That's one thing I had a professor in college. He says, when you start thinking you know everything and think you have to have an answer, you got to be honest. If someone asks a question, I don't know. But let's pray about this. And we'll look and we'll try to find, an answer on this. But when we can be honest and with each other and to know that, because when someone asks me a question I don't know, that spurs me on to say, I got to study more. I got to get in more of this. And that's what you and I got to do. It's not just up to the elders of the church. It's just not up to the pastor or the worship team. It's us right here. Because what you learn may help me in an area. What I learn can help you. And that's where, as the body of Christ, when we're going to be having a special class here coming up about members. And what we always think about a membership is like a country club. I pay my dues, and what services do I get in return? But the body of Christ is totally different. What can we do for the body of Christ? It's a service. We do something. We don't go in. A lot of people say, well, I'll come to church and entertain me. If the worship team doesn't entertain them good enough, it's like, I gotta go find somewhere else. Because they're not as good as the other one. Then you're coming for church for the wrong reasons. You're coming to meet Jesus. I remember Angela and I, through the years I worked for Payless, we went to a lot of different churches because we got transferred. We'd always find a church. First thing we do, we'd find a church. And then we'd stay there. And then, were they all perfect churches? Not at all. But that's where God had brought us. Even if it was like, oh, I want to go, but God never released us. So we'd stay. And instead of becoming the problem, become the answer for that problem. We went to this one church in Spokane. And the first time we went there, we felt God had called us Valley Assembly of God there. It's on the eastern side of Spokane. And we went there, and it was like boring. The worship wasn't that good, but we felt like that's what God called us. So we went there, and they didn't have nothing for kids. It was a big church, like 400 people. And we thought, well, so we went and started looking for other churches. We went to this one church. Everyone in town goes, go to this church. This is the place. This is awesome. So we went there, and worship started. I think I told you guys that. And worship started. And it's just packed. I mean, there's a lot of people in there. It was like a storefront at a mall they were using. We're standing there, and they said, everyone stand up. So we stood up.